Hi friends, welcome to my channel. Today I'll talk about a very interesting book I read last week. This is Neena Gupta's memoir, which is called Sach Kahun Toh, which roughly would mean if I were to tell the truth. So you would know Neena Gupta from her recent work, which is Panchayat series, and a movie which became very popular, Badhai Ho from 2018, where she played the lead. This book is fairly thick and it has got some interesting pictures from her life. Yes, Neena Gupta is also well known for being the mother of Masaba, who is a designer, and that's the picture from the childhood on the back of the book. And there is a series on Netflix which is uh, on Masaba and her mother. All of you would have seen that. But the story goes back to Delhi. Neena Gupta is from Delhi. She grew up in a neighborhood called Karol Bagh, which is in West Delhi. She belonged to a typical middle class family. She went to NSD, which is National School of Drama, studied acting there sometime in the early 80s. Then she moved to Bombay. It was called Bombay at that time. And she started off with doing smaller roles in movies. I think a movie like Saath Saath, where she played the friend of the lead actress. And then her big break came in a series called Khandan, which was aired on Doordarshan in 1985. That series was a sensation. Very well produced, very well directed, very well acted series. It was loosely inspired by a Dynasty series from America, but very well done. And Neena Gupta played a character who can be called, it had shades of grey. It was not a vamp. She was an independent woman who pursued a career in corporate world, maybe ahead of its time. But she became popular. The series was popular. But Neena Gupta did not get the roles she wanted because back then in the 80s, you wanted to be a hero or a heroine because that's how the industry was structured, not like the present time when you have many avenues like OTT. So this book is her story, her life in the film industry, lots of behind the scenes stories there, and her personal relationships, her personal struggle, and she struggled a lot. She was in news in the late 80s for being a woman who decided to have a child without being married. And the child was Vivian Richards' child. She and Vivian Richards had a relationship in the late 80s. West Indies team was touring India. They met in Jaipur. They fell in love. And Neena Gupta ended up conceiving. And against the advice of many people who asked her to abort, she decided to have the child. That's how Masaba was born. So lots of interesting stories about her, and I like the genre of autobiography or a memoir because it allows a person to look back on their life and tell their story. So I found it quite interesting. It is readable. It's not very thick. So if you enjoy movies and if you want to know more about the film industry and the struggle of an actress who had no backing from anyone, who made it on her own, this book would be very enjoyable. So coming back to the book, so Neena Gupta's career can be traced in the 80s was television. She wanted lead actress roles in movies which never came. Then she had a child out of wedlock, which she was in the newspapers all over India, magazines, newspapers. Um, then in 93 a movie came which was Khalnayak. It had Sanjay Dutt and Madhuri Dixit. Subhash Ghai approached Neena Gupta for a very small part and he told her, look, it's a very small part. There's a song in which you appear alongside Madhuri Dixit, and I know the song would be a blockbuster and it will definitely benefit you. Initially, Neena Gupta said no, but after a lot of convincing from Subhash Ghai and a lot of Neena Gupta's own friends, she ended up saying yes. So the song Choli Ke Piche has got Madhuri Dixit and Neena Gupta, and that song was a chart buster, if ever there was one. I mean, it was all over. And even today, if you were to go on YouTube, watch the song, it had very robust choreography. It had amazing music. At that time, there was allegations of obscenity on the song. It's a matter of personal choice. It's a lot of folk songs in India have got double meaning. So it's inspired by the folk songs of India. So, still in the 90s, she got to do many live shows thanks to this song. She traveled all over doing her small bit. But she had this regret that she had the talent to be a leading actress and she was not getting the roles. And that comes through in the book. One more very interesting thing is that, the past is, when we look back on our life, our past is not something which is a factual event that happened. It depends on our memory, and memory plays tricks. So you could see that in this book, she's recalling her past. She's talking about her relationships, friendships, and you could see that human beings have a tendency to justify their own behavior. So we have a sense of being wronged. So yes, in her personal relationships also, before Vivian Richards, she was learning music, classical music from a Guruji in Bombay, and she became close to the family, their son, and she got into a relationship. They were supposed to get married. It never happened because at the last minute, the boy somehow said no, and she could not figure out that why would he say no if they were in love. She wanted closure, which she never got even till today, so that's a regret. So there are many such relationships, and you start, when you look at somebody else's life, you can become wise because you want to tell her that you have led an amazing life, very eventful, you have achieved a lot. So I mean, there's no point having so many regrets, but she seems to be thinking about those times and uh, having those regrets. Also, I think sometimes you have this thing within you. You want to be accepted. It's very human. You want to be acknowledged. You want to be loved. You want to be made to feel important. Now, these are things which really, I mean, depend from person to person. Some people have more craving for it. So in her case, she had a lot of craving to belong, to have somebody in her life, and it has colored her perspective because she's looking back on her life, both personal and professional. So she has got those regrets. Though I wish I could tell her, Neena ji, you have done a great job. You don't need to have any regrets. You have had a most amazing life. Look at those actresses in the 80s. I mean, like, where are they? Does anyone remember Kimi Katkar, Anita Raj, Farah? These were the actresses of that time, leading actresses. No, but everybody knows Neena Gupta, like, even today. So she should be proud of it. I wish I could tell her, Neena ji, you have done a lot in your life. You have achieved a lot on your own. Be proud of what you are and be a little more forgiving. Don't have these regrets. There are people who have their compulsions for doing what they are doing. So maybe they had their own reasons, but she seems to carry a lot of grudges, which I wish she did not. But again, it's like, it's her life, so I am not no one to tell her what to do. But yeah, interesting book. So now we come to, the phase of her life, which is Khalnayak, carried her through for next 3 4 years. She was doing very small parts in movies. Okay, one incident which she mentions in the book, it concerns the director David Dhawan. So there was a movie David Dhawan made in '94 called Ina Meena Dika. It had Vinod Khanna and Rishi Kapoor and Juhi Chawla, and Neena Gupta was playing a very small role. So in an outdoor shoot, one incident happened. So Neena Gupta was not getting the respect from the director and the producer. The stars were getting very good treatment, but Neena Gupta was clubbed with the supporting cast and the extras. Bad hotel, bad food, and all of that. And one day during the shooting, David Dhawan mentioned something to her, and she completely lost it. So in the book, she mentions in English, but I'm sure David Dhawan would have said it in Hindi. So David Dhawan, while taking a shot, looking at Neena Gupta, and in front of the entire unit, he said that, Neena ji, uh, I hope you know that if you do not use some parts, they can become useless. And he said it with a smirk, and he started laughing after that. And Neena Gupta knew what he was implying. She went to the press, and she gave interview to the press, giving the details of this incident. This was all over in the papers, which is like national papers. So this was like long before Me Too, and the, the the result of the controversy was that, and that's the sad part of our industry, and the sad part of our society, that nobody questioned David Dhawan, and she was branded as a troublemaker. So the work dried up in the Hindi films. Then she did one TV series. She directed and acted, Sans with Kamaljeet on Star Plus, sometime in the late 90s, 99 and 2000. That series was a smashing success, and that's how her career was reborn as a television producer and an actor. Star and Neena Gupta and her production house had a good equation and good thing going. But everything changed in 2001 when those K series came on Star, and Star decided not to renew their contract with Neena Gupta. Then she did some series and some roles, and then she got busy with her own life. She met one gentleman who she is married to now, and they courted and then they got married. She settled down and she found a house in Mukteshwar in the hills near Nainital, and life was going fine. Some bit of roles here and there, but nothing much. And then she did something which Instagram generation would know. In 2016, uh, she was in Bombay all along. She was living in Bombay, though she built a house in Mukteshwar, but she was based in Bombay. And she met some people, and they asked her, "Ki, when did you come back to Bombay?" And it happened a few times, and she felt bad because she was not good with networking. So she went to Instagram and she posted a story that I am Neena Gupta. I am a very good actress. I have done a lot of work in the past, and I am looking for work. So please consider me if you are thinking of making a movie. So that post went viral in 2016, and yeah, so then things changed. She got a lot of offers, and a lot of people approached her. And out of all those, one movie which was Badhai Ho came, which gave her immense satisfaction. It gave her a sense of having achieved something, because it was a dream to be a lead actress, and she became a lead actress. And yeah, so, and people know the story from Badhai Ho and then Panchayat and other things. She collaborated with the chef. Uh, I forget the name of the chef. The one from Amritsar, Vikas, Vikas Khanna. How can I forget? So they made a film called Last Color, which won many awards. So yeah, in a nutshell, her story is recounted here. And one very interesting incident she mentioned, in 1990 there was a series called Sword of Tipu Sultan. Sanjay Khan was making it. Neena Gupta was playing a small part in it. The shooting was happening in Mysore, and everyone knows that there was a big fire that happened and many people died. Sanjay Khan also got third degree burns. On the day the fire happened, it was the shot which Neena Gupta was to give. It was a wedding sequence. Some crackers had to go off inside the studio, and because Neena Gupta had no support, she had taken a daughter who was, I think, probably 1 year old with her, and she was shooting and also feeding her daughter. And as luck would have it, she stepped out to the other room outside the studio to feed her daughter. And when she was out, the fire happened. So sometimes, maybe there is some destiny, because her daughter, in a way, saved her. The fact that she had no support system saved her. I mean, so many people got killed. So I think it is good to be thankful for what you have and make the most of it, which I think she has done. So yeah, it's a enjoyable light read. I loved reading it. A lot of nostalgia for me, because I grew up watching television in the 80s. So Khandan is still fresh in my memory, and it has got lots of interesting pictures also in between. Not too many, but quite a few. And I mean, I can go on talking about it. Uh, but yeah, you get the point. Like, this is an interesting book, and I would tell her that she is an amazing actress, a very good human being, and achieved a lot. So you should be proud of yourself. And remember, people have their reasons for doing what they're doing, so you don't have to take it to your heart. So yeah, that was my review of not review actually. I'm talking about the book. It's like sitting with a bunch of friends and telling them about the book I read. So that's the review. Thank you very much, and I'll be bringing you more stories like this. So if you watched it till now, I thank you a lot. All right, I'll see you again soon.